Look around your peaceful neighborhood tonight after 9 o'clock, when the entire busy world completely slows down into a silent, beautiful rhythm. Walk down the quiet streets of your dark town and very carefully observe the dark houses standing silently all around you tonight. Most of the family lights are completely turned off or cast a faint flickering blue television glow against the window glass. Most ordinary people in your modern city are currently lying down on the comfortable living room couch wasting their creative energy. They are aimlessly scrolling through their smartphones, watching endless entertainment shows, trying to wind down from their daytime job routine. And if you ask them about their lifestyle, they will confidently tell you they honestly earned this relaxing break tonight. It was a very long, brutal, exhausting day of work at the corporate office or the crowded local retail department store. They truly believe in their minds they deserve this immediate comfort after all that hard daytime physical labor and stress. But in a few scattered houses down the dark street, there are an elite few who are still awake right now. They are definitely not partying, drinking alcohol, or wasting a single precious second of their quiet, valuable nighttime. They are quietly, methodically working on a major financial dream that nobody else can see or comprehend yet in this town. Nobody applauds them for this painful lifestyle sacrifice, and nobody gives them any emotional validation or praise right now. They don't post about their late-night grinds on Instagram just to get superficial validation from internet strangers. They don't brag about their big future plans to their old childhood friends at the local crowded sports bar. They consciously choose to remain completely invisible, hiding away from the noisy outside digital world and toxic social media platforms. But in 5 short years, those exact dedicated individuals are going to be incredibly wealthy and financially free forever. They will live in a completely different financial reality than their old comfortable content and lazy daytime neighbors. This hidden late-night routine is what I choose to call the ultimate compounding power of the ghost shift lifestyle. These are the secret nocturnal hours that simply do not exist for most ordinary middle-class working people. This is the specific midnight window where real generational wealth is actually constructed from absolute scratch through discipline. And this is the profound life-changing story of an ordinary blue-collar factory worker named Samuel who succeeded. He discovered this secret wealth-building strategy by complete accident one very dark and stressful afternoon after his shift. He had reached a painful breaking point in his stressful family life just recently due to a lack of money. He stood alone at his kitchen table, realizing with terror he could not afford his daughter's urgent hospital bill. He learned that the massive difference between staying broke forever and getting very wealthy in this life was absolutely not what he did during his normal daytime assembly line manufacturing job at the big automotive plant. It was entirely about what he chose to do when the rest of the world went completely quiet. Stay with me until the very end of this inspiring raw financial narrative during this long video tonight, because by the time this long video finishes, you will finally know the ultimate truth about automated wealth creation. You will know the exact daily practical mechanics of the ghost shift high productivity model for ordinary workers. Then you will be forced to look directly into your own bathroom mirror late tonight after everyone goes to sleep, and ask your own reflection whether you actually have what it takes to run one yourself successfully. Samuel lived in a traditional, gritty, working-class industrial town located near the old, polluted shipping river. The sky air was always thick with dark chemical smoke from the big local manufacturing plant complex down the road. The absolute biggest employer in the entire region was a massive automotive parts factory down the main road. It had completely dominated the local economy for over 60 long, repetitive, and soul-crushing years now. Samuel was a dedicated assembly line worker, manually bolting heavy metal car components together for hours. He stood on his tired feet in the exact same spot for 8 long hours every single day without resting. It was the exact same mechanical draining motion repeated thousands of times daily without any variation or break. By the time the evening factory whistle blew, his hands were heavily calloused, dry, and bleeding from hard work. His fingers were incredibly stiff, and his lower back permanently ached with a very deep throbbing pain. He had been completely locked into this exact repetitive job for 11 long, uninspiring years of his life, ever since he was a hopeful young man of just 23 years old with big future dreams. And his beautiful young wife was pregnant with their very first child back in those early days. Now he had 2 beautiful growing children to feed, clothe, and protect every single day of his life. He had a 7-year-old son who grew out of his expensive school clothes very quickly, and a sweet 4-year-old daughter who filled their small house with pure, innocent laughter and joy. He also had a small, older suburban house, heavily burdened with a long 30-year bank mortgage. A 30-year bank loan that constantly felt like a heavy iron slave chain around his tired neck. He drove a battered second-hand car, always one weird engine noise away from breaking down completely on the highway, and his weekly factory paycheck never seemed to stretch far enough each passing month for the family needs. No matter how many extra exhausting weekend shifts he willingly picked up at the manufacturing plant, Samuel was definitely not a lazy slacker looking for an easy shortcut or handout in his life. He never complained to his supervisors, he always showed up early and kept his head down low. He always hit his production quota perfectly without making any major manufacturing or assembly mistakes at all. But despite all his honesty, his daily sweat, and his hard work, he was completely stuck. He wasn't stuck because he lacked basic willpower or good personal character traits or high intelligence. He was stuck because his entire daily routine was systematically designed by modern consumer society. It was a clever financial trap designed by the system to keep him exactly there working forever. Every evening after the long shift ended, Samuel would clock out and drive his old rusty car home. He walked through the front door absolutely exhausted from intense physical labor at the noisy plant. He would eat a simple, cheap, homemade dinner with his small, loving, and dependent family. He listened quietly to his young kids talk about their fun school activities and playground games today. He played with them on the worn living room rug for one short, precious hour. Then he would help his tired wife put them to bed very carefully and kiss them goodbye. By 9 o'clock exactly, he would sit down heavily on the old family living room couch. He stared blankly at whatever random show was playing on the glowing television screen. He would predictably fall into a heavy, dreamless sleep by 10 o'clock sharp every single night. Then his loud alarm would violently wake him up at 6 o'clock the very next morning. And he would drive back to the noisy factory to repeat the exact same draining cycle. It was certainly not a bad life by normal everyday standard working-class societal measurements. His wife loved him deeply, and his young children truly adored their hard-working, honest father. He was highly respected in his neighborhood community as an honest, good, and reliable family man. But beneath the surface of this comfortable, repetitive routine, a dark financial fear constantly lived. A quiet, terrifying economic fear lived inside Samuel's heart for a very long time now. And that fear grew a little larger and heavier with every passing monthly utility bill. The core fear was this: he could see his entire future life path stretched out clearly. His future was exactly the same as his present, only much older and more fragile, only more physically tired, only with significantly more expensive monthly bills to pay each month, and far less raw physical energy to fight them as the time passed by him. His loving wife worked part-time as a cashier at a local neighborhood grocery store. She did this difficult extra work to help cover the rising monthly utility and gas bills. She never complained about their financial situation, showing immense personal grace and patience daily. But sometimes very late at night, when she thought he was fast asleep in bed, he would catch her sitting at the small wooden kitchen table completely alone in the dark. She was staring intently at their low bank account statement with deep, silent sadness. In those quiet midnight moments, he could see the heavy emotional worry inside her heart. He saw the crushing economic burden in the slump of her fragile, tired shoulders. It was an economic burden she tried desperately to hide from him to protect his pride. She always hid it perfectly from the innocent children during the bright, active day. "We are totally okay, Sam," she would always say with love when he caught her. "We have a safe roof over our heads, we have each other always through everything, and we have the healthy kids. That is more than enough money, honey, don't worry." But Samuel knew deep down in his soul that it was absolutely not enough. It was just a temporary, fragile illusion of safety in a very harsh financial world, because every unexpected car engine repair became a mini financial crisis for their budget. Every broken household appliance caused a stressful, emotional argument between them both in secret. Every small school field trip his young son excitedly asked to join after school became a major problem they had to anxiously negotiate around for several long days. Samuel had tried all the obvious traditional basic solutions to make more money for them. He had formally asked his factory supervisor for small hourly wage raises before in the past. He had volunteered for endless overtime hours until his muscles shook violently from systemic fatigue. He applied for slightly better paying supervisor positions in various other manufacturing plant areas. But absolutely nothing moved the needle for their tight family budget back then permanently. Not at all, because here was the structural economic trap nobody ever explained to the working class. You can never work your way out of financial struggle using simple standard daytime employment. You cannot get truly rich using only the hours your corporate boss pays you for. Those standard daytime hours are already fully priced by the highly competitive labor market. Their exact maximum value was calculated and locked before you ever signed the employment contract. No amount of extreme personal effort or extra sweat will change that fixed corporate value. The only hours that truly completely belong to you are the nightly dark ones. They are the dark hours after your official daytime job ends every single evening. And most ordinary people gave those priceless hours away completely free to corporations. They gave them to the comfortable couch, to the hypnotic television screen and video games instead. They willingly chose the cold comfort of being too tired to try anything new. Then the true financial crisis arrived on a very rainy and cold Thursday in March. Samuel's 4-year-old daughter had been complaining of severe, persistent stomach pain. The internal pain had been going on continuously for several weeks now without stopping. His worried wife had taken her to their local family pediatrician twice for checkups, then to an expensive specialist in the city for a deeper, more thorough checkup, and finally to the big regional hospital for an intensive medical ultrasound scan. The final medical diagnosis was fortunately a massive relief for both of the parents. It was luckily not life-threatening or a fatal untreatable genetic disease today. She would be perfectly fine, but required an immediate minor surgical procedure to recover. However, because of how their high-deductible workplace insurance policy was structurally set, the family's direct out-of-pocket cost portion came to $4,000. To be completely exact, it was $4,200 total bill. Samuel sat completely alone at his kitchen table staring at the official hospital letter. He stared blankly at the massive bill for 1 hour straight in absolute silence. He couldn't bring himself to speak or face his family in the nearby living room. He and his wife had exactly $2,000 in total cash savings, and cash amount that had taken them 3 long years of sacrifice to scrape together. Every other single dollar from their paychecks was already legally promised away to bills. It was fully promised to the house mortgage, the basic groceries, and the car loan. They could perhaps scrape together another $500 total cash from extensions by drastically cutting down on their food portions for the coming winter month ahead, but that still left a massive unpaid hole of $1,700 in the budget. It was an emergency amount that they simply did not possess anywhere on earth. With his back completely against the economic wall, Samuel finally swallowed his male pride. He took one deep breath and dialed his successful older brother's phone number. His brother had moved away to a major thriving metropolis many years ago. He successfully climbed the corporate ladder and achieved significant financial wealth and status. He agreed to lend Sam the money immediately without any hesitation or questions. He said he would wire the $1,700 later that same afternoon. But something in his brother's voice cut Samuel deeply right then and there. It was a small, almost imperceptible pause right before he spoke to Sam. It was a softer, much gentler tone than he usually used during their conversations, the specific condescending tone an adult uses when speaking to someone they view as helpless, someone they view with deep pity and feel deeply sorry for because of their failure. "Don't worry about paying it back anytime soon, little brother. Just build your ghost shift.